Okay, so the last time I was here, I talked about the energy that we have in our body. Some of you may have been here for that, and how in every atom, how powerful we are, but some of us don't really know it. And I want to touch on that now because we have this energy, we have an electromagnetic field around our body that can be measured. Science has been able to measure this, and it can be seen with the proper instruments. Also, it can be felt. We can feel that right now. So if you've ever been in a room with someone and they come into your presence and you can feel it, it may be a good feeling. You're feeling their vibrational frequency. Or it may be the opposite. It may not be such a good feeling. You're still feeling their vibrational frequency. Well, I'm here to tell you this. You can change your frequency. This is important news to know. You can change what frequency you're letting out to the universe. I want to start with a quote here. Amanda, can you give me that first quote? Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Daryl Inca said that, and I believe he's right. And see, you can change your energy at any time. And I've been able to do that in my life. And today I'm going to share some knowledge with you here on how to get into that consciousness and how to change that frequency and how to stay there as well. Okay? So I'm going to take you back to 2006. 2006, my life was great. At least I thought it was. Had a brand new job. I started in January of 2006. October 2006, bought a brand new car. Had a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment out in New Tampa. As a matter of fact, my job, I was flying all over the country, back and forth to Las Vegas and Arizona. My job was paying for my car and my gas. Now, I don't know if you remember this, in 2006, do you remember what the gas cost in 2006? It was about $3-something a gallon. It was. So I was living the life. It was awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm going to fast forward to 2009 now, 3 years later. I find myself sitting in the back room of my mom's house, the same room that I grew up in. And I hear beep, 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 beep. I don't know what that is. I'm wondering. I hear my mom say, "Terry, come up here." She calls me Terry, by the way. If she was upset with me, she'd call me Terence Edwin Young. So I knew she wasn't upset with me. But I ran up front anyway. And as I got out to the front porch, I saw the tow truck driver hooking my car up. I couldn't do anything about it because, see, 2 months before that, I had lost that job. And then I moved out of my apartment because I lost my job. And now I was losing my car. So in 2009, I had no job, no car, no home. Thank God I had my mom, so I had somewhere to stay. So I had to figure out something to do because this was not the reality that I saw for myself. So I said, okay, I gotta make it a job to find a job. And in October of 2009, I went and found a job. Great. 1 month later, November of 2009, found a place to stay in Temple Terrace. So in November of 2009, I was living in Temple Terrace, but I was still working in Brandon with no car. So I had to catch the bus from Temple Terrace back to Brandon. Now, if you don't know anything about the buses here, that's not good. Marion can attest to this. That's 3 buses and a 2-hour trip each way. I did that for like a year. So I had a lot of time on my hands. I did a lot of reading during that time. But I'm going to fast forward up to January of 2010. I joined this beautiful community here. Yeah, I did. Yeah. October of 2010, I found a great job, and I'm still at that job till this day. July of 2011, I bought me another car. So in the span of 2 years, I went from no job, no car, no home, to a job, car, and a home again. And I'm like, how did I do that? I had no idea how I did it. I just know what happened. So what I did was go back to, what was I reading on those long bus trips back and forth from Temple Terrace? And you know what I was reading? The Tao Te Ching. I want to share this verse with you. If you want to shrink something, you must stretch it for a while. If you want to weaken something, you must strengthen it for a while. If you want to make something go down, you must have it flourish for a while. If you want to take something, you must give it for a while. It's from the Tao Te Ching, the 36th verse. And when I look at that verse, I started thinking back to my life and what I went through. And I said, you know what? I got shrunk. I was stretched for a while. I was feeling all big, and then I got shrunk back down. And then I was feeling really strong and strengthened, and then I was weakened. And then I was flourishing for a while. I thought everything was great, and then I was brought back down. And finally, if you want to take something, you must give it for a while. I realized that in giving, that's when I started to receive again. You see, somehow I cut myself off from the flow, the abundance that comes in from the universe. But when I found out how to open myself back up to that, then everything in my life changed. My finances changed. My friends changed. My thoughts changed. My consciousness changed. Everything changed. I felt more prosperous about every facet of my life when I changed my frequency. Yes. I love the way heart-centered metaphysics puts it here. It's a beautiful quote here. Prosperity. It's neither riches nor poverty, but a state of consciousness superior to both. So we know here in Unity that heaven and hell are states of consciousness. They're not physical places. They're states of consciousness. Well, the same thing about being rich or poor. Being rich doesn't have anything to do with having a lot of money or having a lot of things. It's a state of consciousness. We know people who are rich that aren't very happy, and they probably don't feel very prosperous. And we know people that may not have a lot of money or a lot of things, but are very happy and feel very prosperous. That's because it's a state of consciousness. You know what I'm talking about. I love the way Eric Butterworth puts it here. He says, prosperity is not just about just having a lot of money, it is having a consciousness of the flow of substance. That's the flow, that abundance that happens at all times, that showers upon us all the time, as long as we don't cut ourselves off from that flow. And we're the only ones that can cut ourselves off from that flow. So today what I want to do is I want to share with you this. I want to share with you how to get to that consciousness, because your thoughts are energy, and your thoughts are what gets you there. Because everything is energy. So I want to show how to get to a prosperous consciousness. And once you get there, I want to show you how to stay there all the time. So the first thing, how do you get to prosperity consciousness? Well, you've got to think about it. You've got to meditate on it. You've got to sing about it. It's a two-step process. The first step is to think about it. So meditate on it. What we sang today, we just sang it, more than enough. That is a beautiful, beautiful song, a testament to what I'm talking about today. There is more than enough. And when you think about that song, you say, where did he get those words from? Now, I didn't talk to Daniel, but I know this. If you look at 2 Corinthians 9:8, he'll say this, and God will generously provide all you need. Then you will always have everything you need and plenty left over to share with others. Doesn't that sound like more than enough to me? We are abundantly provided for at all times. So we have to be in that consciousness at all times. So we're thinking about it. Secondly, I'll say this. To stay in that consciousness is to use affirmations. Reverend Virginia gave me one and said, I am abundantly provided for at all times. Say that in the mirror to yourself at all times. When you're driving, when you're home, put it up on the mirror. You want to say it, feel that vibration coming out of your body. I say this one on the way to work every single day. I am a super creator and a magnet for attracting the things I want in my life. And I used to say, you are. I'd look in the mirror and say, you are. And one day at a class, I was talking to a reverend, and she said, and I asked her, I said, Rev, should I say I am or should I say you are? And you guys know what she said. She said, first she said, well, what do you think? And I said, I think I should say I am. She said, then that's what you should do. And that's what I've been saying ever since. And it feels real. It feels better when I say it that way. I am. So say those affirmations to yourself. That's the first way to get into that consciousness. Now the second part of this is important. It's not enough just to say the affirmations. It's not enough just to think about it. It's not enough just to sing about it. You got to take action. You got to do something about it too. So once you got yourself in that mindset, then you got to take action. What I mean by that is, if it's something that's come up for you that you think you should be doing, you gotta take action to do it. If it's donating to a charity, if it's volunteering your time, your talents, whatever it is, you've got to do that. I always say this, if you feel butterflies in your stomach, and it's not illegal, then do it. Then do it. That's what I mean. I'm serious. If you feel that, then go ahead. Go do it. That's spirit calling you. That is spirit calling you to be more than what you are today. And that's how you get into that prosperous consciousness. So that's the first step. That's how you get there. So once you're there, how do you stay there? All right, now this is important. The way that you stay there is this. You've got to learn how to let go. Letting go isn't easy, right? It's not easy. I want to show you, it's an African proverb here that I'll share with you. When you give a friend a goat, you have to let it go. Let go of the leash. You do. This is us. Here's the goat. The goat. We don't want to let it go. We don't want to let it go. We don't ever want to let it go. We want to hold on to something that's not doing us any good. We got to let go of that relationship that's not going anywhere. Let go of that job that's not taking us anywhere. We've got to let it go, and that opens us up to the flow of the universe. The flow of that abundance that's already there. It's coming right to us. Yes, but we've got to let go. Now, I know that's not easy. So I'm going to share with you something that'll help you remember and make it easy to let go. And it's this. You don't own anything. We don't own anything. You don't own your job. You don't own your car. You don't own your money. You don't own your life. Who does it belong to? God. Everything belongs to God. It all belongs to God. I was listening to Rev speak a long time ago, and I was taking notes like I always do, and she said something that caught me. She said, it's God's money anyway. And I thought about that for a second, and it brought me back to what I was just talking about here. And when I had literally nothing, no job, no car, no home. And I said, what brought me out of that? Well, I didn't do it by myself. It was by the grace of God that I was brought out of that. So I don't own any of that. And we don't own anything. And when you know you don't own anything, then it's easier to let it go. Yes. Second part of this. To stay in that consciousness, you've got to be a cheerful giver. You've got to be a cheerful receiver. So I'm going to deal with receiver first. When someone gives you a compliment, say thank you. Don't say, well, okay, it was all right, but okay. I'm getting better at it, but someone will say, hey, Terence, great job on that marathon. I'll say, I didn't run this fast as I wanted to. Why don't you just say thank you? Yeah. Just say thank you. So I'm working on this too. Just enjoy it. When I say, Amy, you look beautiful today, you should say, yeah. Yes. Shirley, you look awesome today. Marion tells me I look great all the time, and I just say, thank you. Just say thank you. I do. I mean it. Seriously.
He didn't say that the last time.
Anyway, you got to be a cheerful receiver. Second of all, be a cheerful giver. We've got to give from the goodness of our heart, not expecting anything in return, because if we expect something in return, that is called a loan. Right? That's called a loan. That's not being a cheerful giver. That's called a loan. I want to read something to you from Heartfelt Metaphysics. I was blessed to get the opportunity to facilitate one of these classes for Rev, and this is what it talks about prosperity. There's no promise of increase unless we give freely, let go of the gift entirely, and recognize the universal scope of the law. Then the gift has a chance to go out and to come back multiplied. There's no telling how far the blessing may travel before it comes back, but it is a beautiful and encouraging fact that the longer it is in returning, the more hands it is passing through, and the more hearts it is blessing. All these hands and hearts add something to it in substance, and it is increased all the more when it does return. I think that's beautiful and so, so true. So I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you today to give of your time, give of your talents, give of your money, give of anything that you can give of to the spiritual communities and the places that support you, where you're spiritually fed, the places that are doing the work that you feel is good in this community. Give to those. That's what we want to do. And we want to be cheerful when we give to those. Put all of your attention, put all of your focus on that. Because where your attention goes, your energy flows. And your prosperity consciousness is all about your energy flow. My name is T.Y. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you today. As always, allow the universe to work in your favor and be blessed.
Thank you.